It's a chance for kids to be a part of something big.
Joining the UCMB is really an irreplaceable experience that you'll never forget.
That feeling that you get, you're just so proud of what you've done, you're proud of the UCMB, and you can't wait to get back on the field to do it again.
I'm so glad I did band. I honestly don't even know what college would be like without band.
UCMB is probably the second most important part about, I guess, collegiate football at UConn, aside from the football team, obviously, of bringing that atmosphere.
I love leading the Stick It In cheer at football games and the fight song, and actually knowing all the words to the fight song, and doing all the cheers. The marching band does it, and since we have 300 people who are doing the same thing, we essentially lead the cheer, which I like.
My first game ever, coming from a much smaller band, and we had never performed, in high school. The stadium held like maybe a couple hundred people. Performing in Rensselaer in front of 44,000 people. We came in and we set up pregame, and the opening of Krypton, I mean, we don't play it anymore, but just the power of 300 unison voices just shook the stadium. That was the most powerful thing I've ever experienced.
During pregame, we have tunnels where when the team runs out and there's smoke, and we play the fight song, and it's just this amazing atmosphere that we create for the whole stadium. It becomes like a really awesome experience.
We are the pride of Connecticut, and I say that as we are the premier performing ensemble. We represent the state when we travel across the country for athletic events, as well as in the state for other ceremonial events.
That's a name that came to us many years ago, and I think, first of all, just the regal bearing of the band has always been strong, and there's to see that many people with such great dignity in their bearing, I think that really shows pride to anybody who's seeing it. And I think that the UConn band has been chosen to represent the state so many times through big events nationally and in the state, that I think that there's no other band that could be chosen as the pride of the Connecticut.
I did not have a marching band in high school. We had a concert band. I remember on the first day when they brought everyone all into that one big room. I was first blown away by how many people there were, but I was just amazed at how everyone cared, and everyone wanted to be there, and everyone wanted to make it better, because I'd just never seen that before. Never been part of anything like it.
We have 3 days from 4 to 6, 2 hours each of those 3 days that we rehearse. We have to find enough time for our band to be good. People want to be in a good band, and that takes time and it takes work. But we have students here at UConn that need to be great students. So the practice time is adequate for us to get our job done, yet doesn't impact the student schedule so hard that it's going to impact their schoolwork.
I was really shy when I first came to the UCMB, but getting to know all those people, it wasn't overwhelming at all. Like as soon as you are in that atmosphere, like everyone is so nice and encouraging and talkative that you kind of just jump in. So I've grown as a person, and I also think I've grown as a musician because the music was definitely a step up from what I'd played in high school marching band. So it made me grow as a trumpet player and as a marcher too.
We take the people we have and we end up with a band that's just as good as anybody's anywhere, because our players are smart, they work hard, and they continue to develop their playing and their marching skills until we're at the top end of things.
My favorite UCNB memory is when the marching band traveled up to Toronto, Canada for the International Bowl, and it was my freshman year and I'd never been to Canada before, and it was great to meet the members of the University of Buffalo marching band and to experience Toronto.
One of the perks is the opportunity of travel. I tell some of the kids that they think they're rock stars because they are part of something that's pretty big. To board a plane that is chartered just for the band, all 300 members. Being on that plane, you forget that some people haven't ever flown before. Some people haven't been out of the New England states. And to be able to see that excitement for those kids is reward in itself.
At Arizona this past season, when we came off the field, I was standing next to my friend Beth, who plays piccolo with me, and she turned to me and she goes, "Oh my God," and I go, "I know, can we go do that again, like right now?" Like we were so excited because it was so great.
My favorite memory has to be marching out onto the field at Michigan and standing on that 12-foot high ladder watching the ensemble play in this huge, gorgeous, brand new stadium with one of the best college bands in the nation, and it was amazing because that's where we are. We are one of the best college bands in this nation.
The friendships that are formed are deeper than most because they're sharing something really, really special, and there's a great deal of love in that.
In the time from when I got here, freshman preseason till now, this year we've performed in front of more than 1 million people. That's just, you can't get that anywhere else.
Everything you've done during preseason, during practice, in your dorm when you're practicing alone, everything you've done when you step on that field in front of people for the first time, I mean, that's when you know you've made the right decision.
"25 years from now, you won't remember that quiz, what was question number 10, and what did you answer. 25 years from now, though, you're going to remember that feeling you had when you brought the horns down. You remember what yard line you were on, who you were looking at, and what note you played. You're going to remember that 25 years later.
It's a great organization that has the opportunities to perform and it bring wonderful people together and create wonderful lives.